to make understand what the user story is gonna talk about. Okay, so you can keep that like the name, you can make the name whatever makes sense to you, considering that user story. You name that user story in the end. Okay, so first do you ask the business, okay, what do you want? So as a business, like as a user, okay, as an existing you know that Android or whatever application is, like as a existing user of that system, I should be forced to update my password after every 365 days. Why? So that I should adhere that security policy. I put that like as a like security policy that everybody after 360 days, or like after a month, or whatever security policy. So this is like security related requirement. Okay, so as a existing user of the system, I should be forced to update my password every 360 days. So this is one user story. And there is like then there maybe like the next user story, there will be another user story, and likewise you have these 8 or 10 different user stories, okay, for that system, and along with their acceptance criteria, that is making up your product backlog. Okay, then what will happen next? We need to before we will build that, we need to size these user story. You cannot build all that user story in like if we are doing in 2 week iteration or 3 week iteration. Like it's this decision is kind of organization wide. Some organization do iteration, you also called it sprint, for 2 weeks, and some organization they do for 3 weeks. Mostly it's 2 weeks. So we have to do build that user story, and then test that user story and make it ready within 2 weeks, because we are building in chunks. So we are not building all the user stories in 2 weeks. So first we will size it, so we will be able to estimate that how many user stories we can take up in one sprint in 2 week duration. Okay, and who are gonna size that? There is a will be a scrum master and the development team. They are gonna size these user stories because they have to build it. So they will, your job is just to write the user stories and help them understand what they are talking about. That's it. They have to size and they have to build. So they size, for example, they said like the first user story is small. Okay, second is like excel, like that means yeah, it will like 2 excel maybe make one sprint. Okay, so they will have this kind of sizing criteria. It may be numbers, or it may be like a t-shirt sizing. Okay, so they will have this kind of criteria to size the user stories. And for then they will like after the user story has been sized, then there will be like sprint. Okay, so there will be the first sprint. In first sprint there maybe just uh, these two user story. In the second sprint there may be just the this one user story because it's big sized. And in the third sprint there may be these 3 user stories, or these two user stories. And in fourth sprint there will be like rest of the user stories. That means like 1 2 3 4, there will be 4 sprints for development. Okay, so development of this project, there will be 4 sprint if everything goes right. Okay, for example, if they as they planned, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will develop during that duration. Okay, they may have like a certain user story, something messed up that like they will be developed like
So
mm,
how many size comes in a one sprint?
sorry, say it again.
How many size comes in a one sprint?
In one sprint, what do you mean by size? Like
Like
user stories, you mean how many user story can be in one sprint? So
I can see over here SMLN, extra large and
Yeah, yeah.
XSL. So
So
what
that
is
is
that?
that is just the criteria that development
Did you
team
pretend?
decide. Okay.
Did you pretend that this size with the cloth or something else?
Yeah, no, it's like the size. This size is, yeah, that's a good question. This size is for effort hours. Okay.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
this is like effort hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so we are
Mm-hmm.
sizing effort hours, that how much time it will, because we are building in sprint, and sprint has like duration, that is hours. Okay, there are like 10 days, and in those 10 days, like, you have 80 hours. Okay, and usually like the total work we estimate that usually equal to like 65 hours. So there will be like 15 hours for that meetings and all that stuff. Okay, so based on that we size the user stories and assign that user story to sprint. So this user story may be first sprint, and this may be like the second sprint, and this will go like in the third sprint. Okay, and this will go in fourth sprint. Okay, so that's why we have like uh, these, like when we build chunks, then there are like each sprint is 2 week. Okay, and in each sprint we are building, like in first sprint we are building user stories, and after we build and tested and ready for like make it ready for deployment. Okay, then next week we're gonna start new user story, second sprint. And if there is anything we any user story that was supposed to be like finished in last sprint, okay, it wasn't like got done, then it's gonna go over to next sprint. For example, the portion of 2 is not complete in first sprint, then 2 gonna go to a second sprint, and in second there will be like 2 and 3. Okay, if there is anything that left in the second sprint, that will go move over to next sprint. Okay, so because when they start building, it may like they may take time to like get on the speed. Okay, but after they like 1-2 sprint, they will be pretty much on the speed, and they will be able to build that during that particular time. All right, make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
And yeah, and then there are meetings and all that will happen during the sprint. And I already like talked to you guys about those meetings. That will be like a sprint planning meeting before sprint, then daily scrum during sprint, and when the sprint is like done, they developed, then sprint review meeting, in which they give the demo of the functionality they build. Okay, they will give the demo of that functionality, and if there is anything that needed to be there but it is not there, you can tell during that meeting that this is what. So if there will be any defect, that will be noticed in that meeting and fixed. And then after the sprint retrospective meeting, so you usually just participate in those meetings, that's it. If needed, most of the you usually participate in daily scrum and sprint review meeting. Sprint planning meeting and sprint retrospective, you sometime if they need, then you participate. And you don't do like anything. If they anything that you do that's related to requirements or related to user stories that you like build. Okay, so that you just have to be like tell them if they have any question about the user story, that what this user story means or anything. That's it. Otherwise you just participate in all their activities. Okay, so Mm,
So, like a sprint review meeting means, like, I mean to say, daily scrum, and like during sprint review, we have to do the burn down chart. We have to review how much work is done and how much is ready to be done.
first thing is that that is not the BA job. That is the job of a Scrum
Okay,
Master. Okay.
Scrum Master.
Yeah.
Okay,
So there are like if you will see that there will be Scrum Master and development who is a kind of development lead. Okay. And
hmm.
his job down there is to you know do that like burn down charts and all that. So you can like make a traceability that which story has been
Hmm.
addressed and which story is not, like they are missing or anything that's you can keep track. Otherwise that's like the
Okay,
job of the scrum master to do that. And
okay.
your job is to just like
To
uh,
join the meeting and
yeah, help
see
them.
the traceability
Yeah, if there
matrix.
is any requirement like related question, okay, if they have any user story related question, help them with that. That's your job. Okay, because you
Okay,
are gathering the requirement from the the stakeholders, and you are kind of a product owner to them. Okay.
okay,
And although in those meetings like sprint like daily scrum call, there will be one business representative who will be like called as a product owner. So if you have any question or anything that you can ask that
hmm,
you know to um, that like
okay,
that product owner or the business for person that's attending that meeting. Okay.
hmm,
So for example, they ask some question and you don't know what the meaning of or what they are talking about. So you can just like roll over the wall to the like, hey Jim, what do you think about that? Does it make sense to you or whatever? Just and then that person will like, take charge of from there, and he will talk.
right.
Yeah. So that's how you do it. So any other question?
Mm.
No.
All right. So you guys both have this like comparison chart, right?
Mhm.
That diagram between like comparison between uh, agile and waterfall, right? You both have those.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I mean just go through that. That was today. My plan was to go over that like agile and waterfall and compare it to help them understand. So it really doesn't matter, in any project you can turn the project into agile or waterfall. Just what is the difference? That's the deliverables. Okay. So deliverables are different. You are doing the same thing. You are just and it really doesn't matter for you. Either you have to document the business requirement document, or you have to requirement your right user story. Sometimes like it easier, it make more sense because you are just like from the user story they develop features. Okay. So and it's like kind of easy too. And secondly, like now agile that is more popular. Most of the organization they are adopting agile. Okay. Even they will do the requirement sessions and all that like in a traditional way, and they start development in agile. Okay. So for example, it's like in a United Health Group. Okay. They do all this phase requirements analysis and documentation. Then they do solution analysis, and after the solution analysis, instead of going for development, they started like writing user stories. Okay. And then from those user stories, the same like product backlog is being built, and then from the product backlog, then sprint planning meeting and sprints, and then uh, uh, that way they are like going on. So that is kind of a hybrid approach. Okay, so they are not building like by totally following the traditional method, but they are just like they hybrid uh, adopted a hybrid approach that they do like requirement analysis, and they do like solution analysis, and when they have identified the solution, then they build by agile. Okay, so the development is kind of using agile. Okay, so any further question?
No.
Right. So then, mm, mm, Kasturi, we have one to one, right? Previously.
No, I didn't. I was thinking for today, or how about tomorrow? Are you available?
Uh, Tomorrow, yeah, definitely. Even we can, quickly do like right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, I can do it today.
yeah, so I shared with you like that the folder which have
Right.
different resumes and profiles, different projects.
Hmm.
So have you gone through that folder yet?
Yeah, like those I mean to say those resumes, right?
Right, 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 right.
Yeah.
So
I shortlisted couple of them.
okay, so you don't need to,
So
yeah, yeah. The first thing is that you don't need to shortlist any like specific, resume. What was intent that
okay.
pick up the projects? Like, in this resume, I only like this project that it makes sense to me. So I will just like go, I will copy it, and I will then paste in my local, copy. Okay, and by that way, I will like, select project from all different resumes going through. And when I'm going through uh, these resumes, then it's like kind of I'm going to like different projects. For example, in this resume, if you will see, there are like 5 year worth of experience, and somebody that
Hmm.
who did it, who told that okay, this was the project about. Okay,
Hmm.
and this was my role, this was the project about, and this was my role. So it's kind of
Okay.
when you are going through, it will make
Hmm.
sense to you, and there will be like a few questions too. Okay,
Okay.
and what is the intent that you go through, note down those questions, and you can ask, so that way you will be like the gaps that left in the during the training, that will be
Hmm.
filled down there. Okay,
Oh.
and when we have like five six projects or seven projects like finalized, then we will go through those projects, like we will do deep dive. Okay, we will do kind of role play. Okay, we will
Hmm.
go through each nitty gritty details of the project. We will talk about how many like business stakeholders were there, how many developer were there, and how many like and how you did the requirement, what was the model you were following, and all that stuff. Okay, we will go through the
Okay.
project, what was the project about, was you building a new application, or you was changing, was you building a some new system, or changing existing system, or there was some out of box solution. We will talk about that. And mm,
Hmm.
yeah, at the end of the day, we will understand, will be able to understand the project, and would be able to like explain that project. Okay, so this project was about this and that, and what I
Hmm.
was doing, I was working as a business analyst, and you know uh, I understood the project, identified the stakeholder, gathered the requirement, and worked
Hmm.
with development team to develop those requirements. And then I work with the testing team to test that system that they built, and then I work with the business user for do the
Hmm.
UAT testing. Okay, and so that's what will be the role. So in different way you will describe that role, the same role.
Okay. So I have one question. Like I will ignore those, the business, the for example the company. I don't need that thing
You
for this
uh,
response.
You can take like,
But
yeah, you can, take the, you can take the company. That's okay.
okay.
Yeah,
So
I
how
mean,
about if something doesn't make sense in the job responsibilities? If I see something, those
mhm.
wordings are a little bit new to me, so should I ignore that? That I will
No,
take that out? No.
you can, I mean, in the first, you won't like take out. We will like discuss, and I will explain to you, okay, until it
Hmm.
makes sense, okay.
Okay. Okay.
And then we might, after that we might take it out if it is not necessary. But I,
Okay.
but I want you like, initially you like, don't take it out. So
Hmm.
question that the learn thing that you will learn, that
Hmm.
you won't learn if you will take out initially. So, and it will also help you, uh,
Like
giving,
understanding more about
right,
that.
understanding more, and especially like, you have to update your resume for each requirement. For each
Okay.
job description, you have to update your resume. Okay.
Okay. So you mean like average how many projects I will write? 5 to 6?
Mm, yeah, I mean, 6 or 7 or 10, doesn't matter. You can like pick as many as project that makes sense to you. Okay, and we
But
will like,
in that way, then I have to show, more experience.
no, no,
If I,
no. I'm saying something different. So in the end of the day, when we will finalize, then
hmm,
there will be like, 5, 6 projects. But initially, when we are doing this exercise,
hmm,
I want you to have, kind of, maybe like whatever the number of projects you like, maybe 10, maybe 15, or maybe 20. Okay. So by going through, you will like, learn, and then we will select these, like these are the best you can explain, and we will like,
okay,
make sense.
sure. Yeah. Like for example, in one sample there may be 5 projects, but I have to go through and see which projects are, makes more sense to me. I
Right,
will pick that
right.
one.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
But when you will go through that, like, 5 projects, uh, each project will make a little sense to you. It won't be that, because you know the role. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe you wouldn't be able to, you can identify that, okay, in which project, what was the role, and what was, you can identify that.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be kind of a learning, and kind of fun too, that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Mhm. All right. So,
Okay.
all right, then, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.